Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, depending on where you are in the world right now. My name is Pascal with ETHGlobal. Um, about this workshop, I'm going to be waiting 2 to 3 more minutes to admit a bunch more people in, and then I would start with another proper introduction and explain a little bit on how this workshop is going to look like. So in the meantime, please keep yourself muted, have the camera off. If you have any questions, feel free to just drop them in the chat, and I will go over them throughout the workshop, and we can have probably plenty of time. So we're going to have a Q&A session afterwards too. So just bear with me 2 to 3 more minutes and then we're going to get started. Thank you. So maybe just a quick one for the chat. Where is everybody tuning in from? Everybody in San Francisco already? Or still other places in the world? Is it early morning? Is it afternoon? Is it late night? Where's everybody at? Oh, Oakland. Okay. Nice. Close by. Okay, it's looking good. We have more people than AI bots, so that's always great. Okay, cool. I'm just gonna start right now and then just going to repeat a bunch of stuff like later so we don't have to go crazy over. So again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. My name is Pascal. I'm Hacker Success with ETHGlobal, and I would like to welcome you to this workshop where we're just pretty much going to go over what you can expect at the ETHGlobal hackathon that's going to be starting next week. It doesn't really matter if this is your first time with us or your 10th time with us. It's probably a bit more interesting if this is your first time. If you have hacked with us before online, this is also super, super helpful because while a lot of the stuff is the same, we do have slight differences on the online versus the on-site. One major thing being just the duration of the hackathon. Okay, cool. If you have any questions throughout this workshop, just feel free to take them in the chat and I'm going to go over them piece by piece throughout this entirety of the thing. Cool. So first of all, thank you all for being here. I'm really excited to meet all of you next week at the hackathon. So my position at the company is I'm pretty much responsible for you. So all the hackers, if you have any questions, if you have any issues, if something's happening before the hackathon, during the hackathon, after the hackathon, I'm the person to reach out to. I'm the person that answers, I'd say 95% of the emails that are coming into hello@ethglobal.com. And I'm also the one that's usually fairly active on Discord answering questions. So I would do this semi-structured. So firstly, you have definitely been here before. It's ETHGlobal.com, specifically the event for San Francisco. Before the hackathon, I would like to point out one thing to kick off next week is we're going to have one of our, let's say, biggest Pragma events that we're having because it's going to be, for the first time, it's going to be 2 days on October 16th and 17th. And if you don't know what Pragma is, it's pretty much like our hackathons are not conferences. This is a conference. It's an in-person summit for builders and leaders in the Web3 ecosystem. And it's a great way to be up to speed with what's happening in the ecosystem. It's a lot of great curated content, great talks, great discussions with industry leaders. If you are a hacker, you can actually get really, really cheap entrance. It's $69 for both events. You get some swag, there's food and drinks. And if you have never been to an ETHGlobal event, the food is always amazing. There's a bunch of networking opportunities. We do have happy hour afterwards, so you can actually talk to the people that are speaking on stage. There's a bunch of like really, really smart and really, really great people in this panel. So I can highly, highly recommend it. Yeah, so if you just go to ethglobal.com and click on events and go to Pragma San Francisco, you can view all of this. And again, as a hacker, you get a heavily discounted ticket. It's $69 for both days combined. So can highly recommend it. You have the schedule here, and we're gonna be updating all of the talks in the next few days. So if you get on this one for the schedule, the next couple of days, you should see everything updated, including who's speaking at what time. Okay, sweet. So another thing that I'm gonna do, like I'm gonna advertise a little bit. So ETHGlobal is aiming to be more on chain. And one thing that we're doing in that regard is called our ETHGlobal packs. So packs are NFTs that you can mint, and they give you certain perks. So each and every single one of you that is joining and attending the hackathon, if this is your first one, your second one, whatever, you're eligible to mint the hacker pack. This one is going to fail now because I'm on a demo account. But pretty much what this does, it gets minted to your connected wallet, and you get some perks. For example, you get higher limits on our testnet faucet, you get swag discount for our store, you get CityPack discount, you get a free ENS domain for a year. This will be you'll be eligible for that after you attended the in-person hackathon. You get a free Lens account, Farcaster account, Stock ID, 50% off Jennings SmartCon tickets, and 50% off DevCon tickets. So that's free for you. And yeah, so we have different stages of that. So if you attend more events, you're eligible to get the bigger packs which have more perks. And we also do have a city pack for all the cities that we're running. For San Francisco, this looks like this. It's currently worth over $1,500, and you can mint it for $149. If you hold a hacker pack, it's actually reduced by the percentage. So that's pretty nice. That pack includes Pragma ticket, Uber voucher, happy hour access, staking discount, and a lot of stuff. This, if you're traveling to San Francisco, could be really helpful to you. So stuff like hotel discount, gym pass access, and that kind of thing. So pretty cool stuff. I can highly recommend it. Also gives you access to side events that are running throughout the week. Some have already passed, but for next week, there's a bunch of stuff there, and that guarantees you access. So if you're new to the city, can highly recommend checking this one out. Okay, cool. Then getting to the actual hackathon logistics. So the main source of truth, or the main hub that you're going to be accessing, is called your hacker dashboard. All of you should already have been here because you accepted and staked your spot for the event. So you should be at least partially familiar with this one. So I'm just going to briefly go over everything the dashboard does, what you can do on it, what you can see, and all the information that you can gather from it pretty much. So if this is your first time on here, you're going to get welcome saying, hey, I'm fully confirmed to attend the event. And you'll be able to get your ticket 48 hours before the event begins. It's going to bump up here on the side, and you can actually get your ticket to access the event. From here, you have access to all the packs that you could potentially mint. And since the project submission is not open yet, this shows up like this here. So let's assume you do not have a team yet. You're trying to hack solo, or you're looking for people. This is completely fine. We have people attending the events that are in with 5 people. We have some that just get in as a single person trying to hack solo, or they get in as a single person trying to attend a team. So what you can do, if you check this box on this little checkbox on your hacker dashboard, and your Discord username is being shared, you actually get access to find team members. And this allows you to access our database pretty much. So this has all of the people that also are open to looking for people. They're open for having people join their team, want to expand their team. So you can add information about yourself. So for example, what your interests are, what your skill set is, and all of that information will be displayed and saved on your profile. and you can match accordingly to other people or search for other people. So for example, here we have a list of hackers that want to join a team, that do not have a team yet, but want to join. So you can go through all of them. You see their years of experience, what languages they're proficient in, their skills and interest sets, and what kind of roles that they're open to have for the team. You can have a total of 5 people per team. This is the absolute max. Below that, you can have anything from 1 to 5 hacking on a project. And you can only work on one project and be part of one team throughout the event. So I know it's tempting, but you can only work on one project. And the same thing applies to teams that are already formed that are looking for team members. So for example, we have a team of a front-end, back-end dev, and maybe some UX designer, but they're really, really, really looking for a smart contract dev. Then this might be the spot too. So for everybody, you have the name and you have the Discord ID, meaning that you can just check them out and just reach out to them on our Discord. So super, super helpful if you do not already have a team. We'll also be running team formation sessions. One's going to be async next week on Monday. The schedule is going to be up shortly. And we're also going to be running one on the Friday of the actual hackathon. So if you don't have a team until Friday, this is completely fine. You can pretty much still search for team members up until submission closes on Sundays. So just a heads up on that one. So to take full advantage of that, you would go ahead and connect if you have not done so already, connect your Discord. If you connect your Discord and are subscribed to the event, you're automatically going to get the roles assigned, and that will open up a bunch of the channels for you. So the channels that you'll be seeing are these here. So for ETHGlobal San Francisco, you have info channels on pretty much the code of conduct on what you're going to have to do, what you should not be doing. Got information about the event. I posted this a couple of weeks ago, which is pretty much a starting point. So I can highly, highly recommend this one. You get like the guide on how to approach one of our hackathons, which I'm going to go over in a bit. Link to the hacker dashboard, the info center, which has all of the information you could possibly need. All of the resources, the rules for judging. I'm going to go over this one in a bit too, but just so you have it. So everything is at one spot, if you will. And also all of the events that are going to be happening are going to automatically be posted into this channel. So if a new workshop is happening, if there's food, something that will all be pinged on Discord. So if you're active at the event, you can just talk to people. But if you're sitting at your computer 24/7, then just keep an eye on a Discord, because we're going to send information through those channels. And another thing that we have is just general San Francisco chat. We do have a mentorship help. I'm going to go over what mentors do and who they are in a bit. But if you have any issues, if you are running into certain troubles and want to troubleshoot some things and don't know who to reach out to, you can just ping this one here. And also every single partner that we're having on the event has their own dedicated channel. This channel has all of the information about the prizes, the bounties that you can apply for. It has overall information about what the project is, what they do. And also if they have a workshop scheduled, it shows you the time of the workshop and the location of the workshop. So this is pretty neat. And we have this for every single partner that we're having. So any questions that you're having, if you cannot find them locally, or if you just, some people do not necessarily want to talk to people in person right away, are a bit shy, you can just drop your message in here and usually somebody picks it up rather quickly. Yeah, and this is also a great place to connect to other people. So for example, as I mentioned with the team before, if you don't have a team or you're looking for somebody, you can drop a message in the Find a Team channel, which is really nice. So just quickly introduce yourself, maybe link to your GitHub saying like, hey, I'm super, super proficient in XYZ. I'm looking for somebody, or I have an idea and I just don't have the people to build it with. So feel free to tag along. At the actual event, we'll be handing out stickers that you can put on your shirt or your jacket that say like, hey, I'm looking for a team member, or I'm looking for a team. So yeah, look out for those ones for sure. Nice. So assuming you're connected to Discord, you're getting getting all of the information. I'm gonna go over how you would actually be creating a project or setting up a project. So pretty much the project is the sorry. The project is going to be the thing that you're going to hand in for the hackathon. And in order to receive your stake back that you did in order to get your spot reserved, you will have to hand in a project. It does not matter if the project is 100% polished, if it's finished, or if it's just in a draft state, you have to submit it. Otherwise, we're going to slash your stake. So in order to do that, you would click on Create Project. In this one, you're just going to fill out some stuff. So I'm going to call it Workshop 1. For the category, you have to select either one of those. I'm just going to say it's DevTools, and I'm going to pick an emoji for this one, and I'm just going to take this one. These are pretty much some of the main rules that we're having condensed. So it's really, really important. I'm going to go over these ones. So you have to start the project from scratch. So you cannot work on a hackathon project you did in the past. You cannot work on a project that is, or you cannot start before the actual hackathon starts. You have to use GitHub for version control. You cannot, or you should not put everything into one huge single commit and submit this one, because this looks super, super fishy. During the entirety of the hackathon, the project has to be open source, so it can be accessed by everybody, including the team. You will not be submitting a project from another hackathon, and you will abide to the event rules. So I'm not going to go over them piece by piece because it's a bit to read. But please go over them to avoid any conflict for the future. Then we just would go ahead and create project. Sweet. As you can see, we recommend starting projects early. We usually open up the submission about 24 hours before the submission deadline. And you can submit the project as many times as you need. So if you have a rough draft already, it's completely fine to just submit a project, because you can resubmit it as many times as you need. But just make sure that you have something submitted at the end of it. So here you can add things like the demonstration URL. Just gonna fill it with a bunch of stuff. Short description of the project. I'm just going to be spamming this one now so I can show you how this looks like. You would describe how it's made, and I would recommend putting some time into this one, because this is what the judging, especially from the partners, is going to be based on, because they're going to be reading through all of these submissions. So if you have a detailed description, if you have proper README, if you have clear and documented code, that really, really helps your submission in general. And a link for the actual submission. So say like this is my GitHub repository. Sorry about that. So that would be safe, nice. So then I can do other stuff like add images. So have like a logo, a cover image, have some screenshots. I can upload all of that. We do have video uploads. This is optional for in-person events. We still recommend having a video, but it's 100% optional. So if you're running out of time, don't focus too much on the video. This is mainly for our async events. Videos do help in case you're demonstrating something and the demo is broken, to have a video recording of it, but it's entirely optional for the in-person events. Then for test stack, you would be selecting which tools you were using throughout the hack. And this one I'm gonna spend a bit more time on, because that causes some confusion down the road, and it's a really, really key and important part. So here's where you would be selecting the prizes that you're going for. So I cannot click them now because submission's not open, but this is all of the partners that we have available that have open bounties. So if you would be selecting either one of those, it opens up a new pop-up that says like, hey, where in your code did you use it? How did you use it? And how easy or how difficult was it to use? And you have to apply for all of the prizes that you want to apply for. So assuming you build something with Lit, Circle, and Nethermind, then make sure that you select all of them and fill that information out, because otherwise it will not show up on their dashboard, if you will. Okay, we do have two submission types or two tracks, one being partner prizes only, and the other one being top 10 finalists and partner prizes. So the main difference between those two is that for the top 10 finalists, you'd have to go through a separate round of judging, which has nothing to do with any of the partners that are down here. This is for if you want to be presenting if you want to be part of the group that is called ETHGlobal Finalists, if you want to get like the special podium spot, and if you are open to actually demo your project in front of everybody. I'm going to show a brief video on how this is going to look like after I'm finished with this one. What's important here is that this is completely optional. You don't have to do this if you don't want to present in front of people. This is completely fine. If you just select the partner pricing, then pretty much if the submission is done, you technically don't have to do anything. You can pitch your project to all of the partners, but this is optional. They're still going to judge your project if you integrate their technology. This is just to get some feedback because they are the ones that have the technology built and you can use it. So again, for partner prizes, if you finish your submission, you have all of that stuff selected and filled out, you technically don't have to do anything. It's 100% optional. Still recommend just talking to the people and getting some feedback, but you do not have to. And for the finalists, it applies the same as the partner prizes. So you automatically qualify for the partner prizes. You don't have to pitch to the partners. You can pitch to the partners. And you go through a separate round of judging where it's a 4-minute demo and a 3-minute Q&A. And the judges are selected, or the specific, it's like industry leaders that have nothing to do with any of the protocols and nothing to do with ETHGlobal. So it stays as neutral as it can possibly be. Cool. Then we would go into section that's called Future Opportunities. This one's grayed out. It pretty much says like, hey, am I interested in a grant program? Do I want to continue building afterwards, or do I not want to do this? And the last step is the final submission. This points out one crucial thing. Every person in your team has to be fully staked and confirmed. If at the time of submission you have somebody in your team that has not checked in, they're gonna automatically get kicked out of your team. So only people that come to the event, that check in, they will be eligible to actually be part of the submission. Gonna go into that a little bit later too. I'm just going to quickly jump into a question in the chat. We'll share a recording. Yes, this recording will be on YouTube afterwards, as all of our workshops will be. Can show you in a sec because I want to do that anyways. So all of our videos are on our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/ETHGlobal. You can see if this one's actually being streamed right now. And we do have all of our workshops recorded on there and uploaded. We're currently at over 2,200 videos. So even if you're not attending an event, you can still rewatch it. Or if you miss a workshop, you can always rewatch it. So about the finalist judging, this is how it would look like. This is from Singapore. So this is one of the teams that got the finalist spot. And they are presenting and pitching their project on stage. So everybody, we usually have 10 finalists. We go one by one, side by side. So if they're done, the next one's going to come up and they're going to present their project. And one really, really important thing is we say it's show, not tell, but show the code, show the project. Do not spend too much time on slides or on the pitch, but actually make sure that people can look at the project and actually like see it, feel it, and work with it. So it's much, much better having something that's actually like, even if it's not 100% working, I would say it's better than just having like a Figma prototype if you have some actual code and can work on it. So this is what the finalist like presentation during the closing ceremony would look like. The judging is before that. So pretty much after submission closes at 9 a.m. on Sunday, You can go at 9:30. The judging opens till around 12:30. Then there's food in between, and around between 2 and 3, you would get notified if you actually qualify for a finalist. Then you get put to the side, gonna prepare everything, make you ready for stage, and then gonna put you on stage to present everything. And you get some like extra perks, a bit more money, also from ETHGlobal if you make finalist and you have the privilege of being called an ETHGlobal finalist, and you will also be shared on our Twitter. This is what it looks like for Singapore. So all of the finalists are shared in this thread, including the information. This is what's going to be displayed if you add like a cover update. Also shows the emoji that you put for the project. So pretty cool. You get a lot of visibility. If you check this one out, I mean, this one's been from less than a month ago. It has over 34,000 views. So getting your project up there, it's pretty cool. While we're at that subject, this is also like on like x.com/ETHGlobal on the highlights. You're going to be able to see all of the past finalists because we all post them in the in those threads. So you can actually check out the showcase and see how they're being built. That brings me to, let's remove this other side, our ETHGlobal showcase. So the showcase has every single project that has ever been submitted for an ETHGlobal hackathon. As you can see, it dates back all the way to ETH Waterloo, which, if I'm not mistaken, was in 2017. And just one second. So this has all of our projects, and you can search through all of them. So if you're looking for inspiration, if you want to see like, okay, cool, what can actually be built during a hackathon, this is where you can look. Currently, you can only filter by the event or by multiple events. We're working on some features to be able to select a bunch more things, which is going to be pretty cool. As soon as a project wins a bounty from a sponsor, you're going to see the sponsor bounty displayed here. If it wins multiple ones, it's displayed here. I can show you one project where it's going to be a bit difficult to actually see all of them, which is this one. They were finalists for Superhack. If you see this logo with the ETHGlobal symbol, this is this means that this project actually made finalists. If you go on the actual page, you see the video, you see the screenshots that they uploaded, you have a link to the live demo, you got source code, everything is there. And here you can see what prizes that they actually won. Just one thing up front, this usually does not happen, that like one project takes in so many bounties. And it's something that I would usually not recommend people doing. This was for an online hackathon, so there was a bunch of time. But since you only have effectively 36 hours to hack, just try not to focus on, or try to focus on a few bounties and don't try to include as many things as possible. Because what ends up happening is that you just integrate like 10 different tool sets or 10 different APIs or 10 different chains or technologies, and it just ends up not being a great product. So rather choose a fewer set of sponsors or partners and just make sure that what you integrate works really, really well, because this is going to help your submission and your chances of like winning like exponentially. So yeah, if you need inspiration, just head over to the showcase. Again, you can see all of the projects from the past, thousands and thousands of projects, and can just review them. And if you go to X, you can see the ones that made finalists and see, okay, what might be a cool thing to do. Or just exchange your thoughts on Discord and just talk to people. Pretty much there's like not really, we don't like to like set boundaries in a way, so feel free to be creative with what you're creating. And don't just try to like copy certain things that worked well in the past. This is just like as a form of inspiration for you. Cool. So let's see, we covered all of this. So one thing we do have at all of our events, I mentioned this briefly for Discord, is our mentors. So our mentors are usually either they've been hacking with us before, they are leaders in the industry, they are a representative of certain partners, but they're here to help you. So all of the mentors are really, really easy to spot because they will be wearing one of these. It's going to be a different color for San Francisco, but well, it's going to be a bright west that says mentor in the back. And they're going to be be walking over the venue. And they have a dedicated station where you can locate them and find them and talk to them. So they are there to help you like debug smart contracts, troubleshoot general issues, just talk about ideas, give you feedback on your project. And we try to have a mentorship so far as well structured that we have you covered almost throughout the entirety of the hackathon. So there should always be somebody that has a bright vest on that you can just talk to. So all of them you can find on the event site /mentors, and you have their information on what they are proficient in, and also how to reach them on Twitter, like on Twitter X or on Discord. But again, they will be on the event, really, really easy to spot due to their vests. So speaking of the event or the event venue, so in case you do not notice already, we are going to be at the Palace of Fine Arts. On the venue page, you have everything you need. You have the address, you have the directions, which will direct you to Google Maps. And we just uploaded this yesterday. This is the venue map that we are currently having. It's going to be slightly updated up until the event, but this is a rough draft. Going to go over this one because it's a bit easier to see. So this is where everything is going to start at the daytime entrance. You're going to head there. We're going to open up registration at 1 p.m. on Friday. Make sure you have like some sort of ID and your ticket ready. Again, the ticket you'll be getting 48 hours prior to the event. We're going to scan you in. You're going to get a wristband. Something about the wristband, it's going to have a NFC chip in there that you can use that we're going to use to scan you in for certain workshops, for food. And you can also connect with other people using your phone, tapping them, and actually be able to share information. FYI, it's a full-fledged wallet on there. It's an ARX chip. They're really, really fun to play with. So for example, before I joined ETHGlobal as hacker success, I was actually hacking. And the last project we built was also utilizing those chips. So pretty fun, can highly recommend it. To just tinker around with it, sign transactions. It's pretty cool. So after you checked in, you pretty much have access to the venue 24/7. So up and pretty much from 1 p.m. to, I'd say, about like the event conclusion on Sunday, you can roam around like our area freely. You get a badge and you get a wristband. Do not take the wristband off. Do not cut it off. Do not have it too loose and give it to other people. If you lose it, gonna have to return to registration and we might slash your stake because we do not want people that are not registered for the event to get in there. And some people try to sneak other people in. We want to avoid that. So make sure to keep your wristband on throughout the entirety of the event. You can take it off afterwards, but pretty much like the second you check in, you get your wristband. And if you do not have your wristband with you and your badge, you will get denied access. So this is really, really important. So as soon as you get in, you collect your swag. You can get into the main hall. We do have all of the blue spots are partner booths. So every single partner that we have available is gonna have a larger or smaller desk where they have representatives that are gonna be there throughout the most of the event. So if you like, this is your, I'd say like golden opportunity to just talk to the people directly and to get like a lot of swag. So if you only have one t-shirt coming into the event, you're covered. You're gonna have plenty after like 10 minutes. But yeah, so if you have any questions about the protocols, if you want to talk to the people, if you want to, or if you have any issues, need to troubleshoot something, these are the people to reach out to. Just gonna have to take a sip of water real quick. Sorry about that. Okay, thank you. So yeah, the main hacking area, we're not gonna reveal how it's actually gonna look like. You're gonna see when you get in. It's gonna look really, really cool. And as I mentioned before, this is where our mentors are going to be stationed. So whenever you have a question that's like general and not specific to any of the partners, or if the partners are not there, you can reach out to them. Just head over there and just talk to them. They're there to help you. They might not be able to solve all your issues, and they're definitely not going to be working on your project for you. So they help you troubleshoot, but don't expect them to just completely like write your contracts. That's still up to you, but they're there to support you for sure. We have our main stage. We have another smaller hacking area to the side. We have all of the workshop rooms. So if you see an event on see a workshop on the schedule, it says which event room it is in or workshop room it is in. You can just go to this one. Food-wise, since we're a bit out, we do have food trucks coming in for dinner, breakfast, and lunch. Like all that info is on the schedule I'll be sharing later. And we're gonna have like snacks and drinks throughout the venue scattered and for you to pretty much access 24/7. So you're covered when it comes to food. And as I mentioned for Pragma, ETHGlobal food is always amazing. So yeah, you don't really have to think about cash, so to speak, at the time we're actually at the venue because you don't have to buy anything. Like everything is going to be available for you. We actually have two stories kind of. So for the mezzanine floor, we have another large hacking area. We've got a chill room and activity area. And the judging area is where if you go through the finalist judging, where you would be presenting to our judges. It's always usually two judges per judging session, plus volunteers that are gonna take the time and make sure we're not gonna go over. And it has all the information here as well. Again, this map's gonna be slightly updated by the time the event actually starts. So make sure to give it a brief look, but we're also going to be sharing this one throughout the venue, and you're going to get small cards that have this map displayed also as soon as you get into the space. So yeah, I'm really, really curious on how this is going to look like. It's different for every single event. It's always really, really interesting. It's always really, really cool, and I'm pretty hyped. And again, I can highly recommend this is your ideal opportunity to just talk to the people. So talk to the hackers, talk to the partners, because you're never going to get as close to the actual protocols as with those hackathons. So highly recommended to properly utilize all of that. Sweet. So because I mentioned it before, gonna say this again, the schedule. So this has all of the information for the events that we're going to be running next week. So this also includes the Pragma and already has what happened yesterday was a Twitter space and this workshop happening right now. It has everything that happens at Pragma. More important for every single one on here is going to be the Friday. So event registration opens at 1 p.m. We do have a time zone selector. So this one is for like America, Vancouver. So this is the local time for San Francisco. So event registration starts at 1 p.m. If you're in a different time zone, you can select it accordingly. And we start with the partner workshops at 2:30. So pretty much you can start coming in like slightly before 1. We're going to open up the registration at 1. And you can join anytime and sign in up until 10 p.m. for Friday. And then we're going to open up registration again on 8 a.m. on the Saturday up until noon. And after then, we pretty much have the registration closed. So if you cannot come in at 1 p.m. on Friday, this is completely fine. Anytime between 1 and 10 p.m. is okay to sign in. So we do have all the partner workshops that are going to be happening in the specific workshop rooms. As you can see from the map, one I can always highly recommend if you are new to Web3, and we usually have around 20 to 30% of the people new to Web3, is this workshop called Building Your First 5 Apps on Ethereum or Speedrun Ethereum with Austin Griffith of Scaffold ETH. So this is going to give you like a quick head dive into how you can actually like bootstrap an application in a short amount of time, which can be super, super helpful, especially for first-time hackers. That being said, we mentioned that you have to start your project from scratch. Boilerplates and like Bootstrap applications are completely fine. So it's okay to use something like Scaffold Eve to actually bootstrap your application. This is okay. Cool. So we have all of the workshop rooms. And then the really, really important stuff is going to start at 6:30, which is going to be dinner. Again, food is always amazing, can highly recommend it. And at 8 p.m. is the welcome and opening ceremony, where we're going to go over a lot of the information that I just told you again in like condensed. It's going to lay out what the weekend is going to look like. And at this time, the hacking actually starts. So up until, say, between like 8 and 9, you should not be starting with your project. At 9 p.m., you can officially start. And at 9:30, we do have a session that I'm going to be running together with Austin. It's going to be a virtual team formation session. And not the virtual, it's going to be an on-site team formation session, ID brainstorming session. So if you at this point do not have somebody to team up with, or if you have an idea and want to get people in as well, this is a perfect session for this one. We take an hour to an hour and a half just to get people connected, get like brainstorm some ideas, and just like, get the creative juices flowing. Then we close the registration at 10, and there's going to be a midnight snack at midnight. And then for the next day, it's pretty much the last call for the registration. This time is off. It's going to be at 8. We're going to have brunch at 11. Registration closes at 12, and there's a project feedback session at the mentor station at 3. So if you already are working on your project and you just want to bounce the idea off a bunch of people, this is a great spot to do that, because the mentors usually have a bunch of experience with those hackathons and can support you in that. 6:30, it's dinner, and 12, late night snack. Sunday, breakfast at 8, and the project submission is due at 9. So make sure you have everything set before 9. And as I mentioned before, you have the chance to submit early. We usually open it up around like 9 on Saturdays. So you have an entire day of just submitting a project, even if it's just placeholder stuff. This is completely fine. Just make sure you don't just start submitting like 10 minutes before the deadline. 9:30 is where the project judging starts. Again, it's optional for the partners. You can pitch to them, but you don't have to, because they are going to get your submission anyways. Lunch at 12:30, and finalists are getting notified between 2 and 3. So if you're opting in for the finalist judging, make sure to be at the venue between 2 and 3, because you're going to get a notification and you have about 10 to 15 minutes to show up. If you do not show up, somebody else is going to take up your spot. So make sure to keep an eye on for your, especially for your emails at that time. I'm so sorry about that. We have the closing ceremony at 3, and then there's an after party with a bunch of drinks, and just pretty much where everybody gets together, all the hackers, all the ETHGlobal staff, all the partners, and it's a great like way to end the event and just to network with a bunch of people. Okay, cool. So just in between, I'm going to go over a few questions. What is the total number of projects usually participate in such events? This highly depends on the size of the event. For Singapore, if I'm not mistaken, we were over 300 projects that actually submitted. So there's a lot of projects coming in. For this one, it could be anything between 100 and 500. You can never really tell, because it might be a lot of people hacking in groups, some solo hackers. So we'd estimate 200-300 probably. Is API-based services, not partner ones, okay to use within the project? Absolutely. Like the thing is, for the hackathon, you technically don't have to put any of the partner technology in there. If you don't aim for the prizes, if you just are there to build something, you can use whatever you want to use. So any Web 2 event is any Web 2 service is also completely fine to use. It's just if you want to qualify for something, you have to use the services, but not exclusively. So it's completely fine also. Like a lot of people, for example, use Versal for hosting. You can use Fleek for hosting. You could just host it yourself. You can use AWS. That's completely up to you. You can use Web2 databases and connect with your project. You can use Web3 data. It's completely open, what you can and what you want to do. Okay. So let's see. We do have the venue. These are all the prizes that we have. So the prizes that are available for every single. You're welcome. Yeah, I didn't share this site. This is usually the most important one for a lot of the people. So every single partner that we have, every single bounty that's going to be on there, we have on the event site /prizes. And here you can see what the protocols, what the partners are offering, and what they are looking for. So they usually have qualification requirements. So if you're aiming for a specific bounty, make sure to read through the requirements. So you're not at the end saying like, why didn't I qualify if you didn't properly read it? So it shows the total amount that they're sponsoring or that they're handing out as bounties, and also like what the certain tracks are, what you can qualify for. Sorry. So for example, let's say you want to build something with Unlimit. They give you brief information about what Unlimit does, and they have their prices for crypto checkouts, and they have prices for NFT checkouts and name extension vault identifiers. So these are the bounties that they're offering. And it shows you what you pretty much have to do in order to qualify for those. Best approach is just to talk to them if you're uncertain if your product will qualify, or if if they think it would be interesting. Just talk to the partners. They're all gonna have backdrops. They're gonna have like little like stand-ups on the desk where you see the logo. So just approach them, talk to them. That's what they're there for. And you're going to get like great insight and actually be able to get stuff shipped much, much quicker. So I'm just going to go over another one. Like they have not updated it yet, so they also did not do that. Another great example. There we go. Layer 0, for example, they offering for their first place 10 grand, which is huge. Second one, 6 grand, 3.5 and 500 for the best developer feedback. This is something that they usually do. So if you're aiming for this one, make sure to read through the qualification requirements. And also a really, really neat feature is that every single one should have the links and resources. So you have the links directly to all of the documentation, to the CLI tools, price submission form. And you also, if they have a workshop, it will also be linked here. So as you can see, Layer 0 is going to have a workshop at 5:30 p.m. on the Friday in workshop room 2. So make sure to read through all of that before and come in with a little bit of a plan. It helps. And again, don't try to integrate like different protocols because it's messy. Make sure to just focus on a bunch and use the ones that make sense. So some things may make more sense than others. But yeah, project. Cool. Let's see. So this pretty much has most of the stuff covered for the event itself. Again, all the information there. We do have a bunch of really, really nice resources when it comes to judging, when it comes to getting started with the hackathon that we're going to go through briefly. So we do have our general FAQs. Some of the for the event. Just going over them because it does explain a lot of the things. For example, where can I find all the projects ever built? We went over this in the showcase. How you can actually attend, how I can find the videos, what happens at the event, if you can participate remotely, all of that. This I can answer quickly. You cannot participate remotely. This is a fully on-site event, so everybody has to be checked in. You don't have to be at the venue 24/7. You can enter and leave at any time you want, and you can work outside the venue too. but everybody who's participating in your team has to be checked in to the actual event. So remote is not possible. If I'm working on my project before the hackathon begins, will I be eligible? Not really. You should not be working on it before. And if you ask in the Discord, you can ask the people, the protocols directly, or you can just ask the mentors or anybody in the staff. Even if it's something that's not related to the hacking, if you have any problems or on, just reach out to us, like specifically to me, because this is my job, just to be here and make sure that everything runs as smoothly as possible. If there's any issues, if there's any sort of harassment whatsoever, just reach out immediately so we can kick those people out. We want to have a nice and friendly environment and want to make sure that everybody entering the space has the best event they can possibly have, and that everybody coming in for the first time has a better first time than the person that came in at the previous event. So this is something really, really. So if there's any issue during the hackathon, just feel free to reach out. And if I'm not available, somebody else is going to be available and going to be able to quickly. So another thing that I can highly recommend you read through. I know this is a lot of information, a lot of text. I'm gonna wrap it up in like the next 2 to 3 minutes, but a few more really important things would be the info page about San Francisco. Started page. This is mainly applies if you have not started the application yet. But this one is super helpful. So the rules about the project submission. So everything that you need to know is pretty much on that page. It explains what you can and cannot do, and it also explains on how the submission process works or the judging process works. So take some time, read through that. It's not a lot. It's just one page, and also gives you some inspiration on what you like what your video, for example, if you choose to make one, might look like. And we got a bunch of resources that at this point should be super up to date about how to actually get started with Ethereum. Like I mentioned before, Scaffold ETH, we got resources on that one. We got resources curated on NFTs and DAOs on Ethereum. Pretty much all you need to know you can have there. And if you feel like, oh, this broken, just reach out so we can fix it quickly. And that covers pretty much almost everything, except we have the showcase. We have this one. We also do have a city guide for San Francisco. So if you are new to the city, not sure where to go, what to do, this is a great spot. You can find this directly on our page. It has a bunch of information. We have that for every single event that we're running, some nice pictures, description on the venue, on where to go and what to do, how to get there. So to remember about the ceremony. We got the map, so we're going to be here at parts. And one thing that's going to be really, really important, this is not just for the hackathon. As soon as you are a registered hacker with us, you do have access to our testnet faucet. And we support quite a large amount of chains that you can claim 0.05 a day. All you have to do is be registered as a hacker. You have to verify your Twitter. This is what we have to do to prevent botting. So if you have an connect, if you are a hacker that minted the hacker pack, you actually get this bumped up to point example a day on Sepolia, for Optimism, Polygon Amor, like all of that you're gonna get if you made a finalist and get that specific status. You actually get to mint 1 ETH a day on each and every single one, pretty much up until we testnet faucets for all of the token the event there, but the partners that it has one, you can also ask for on Discord or just talk to them directly. They should be able to help you out with that one problem. Okay, cool. Would yeah, I would wrap it up. Just one more thing about the packs. Again, go over to ethglobal.com track, and after the event, you'll be able to redeem a bunch of perks. We do have some upgrades to the hacker, which you're going to be eligible if you attended one IRL and one async hackathon and won some prizes and have at least 2 project submissions, or it gives you a 4x on faucet. You're going to get auto accepted for all of the events, get larger city discounts, swag discount, get Notion Pro, get 6 months of Pinata. And then the largest one that we have for hackers is the Pioneer Pack, which is going to fail now. You're going to get the 20% off city pack discounts, all the stuff that happened on the previous packs. Going to get the 10x faucet limit per day, $5,000 AWS credit, gelato, and QuickBooks discount. And we keep on adding more things to these because these are expandable, and actually we can add top of our packs and add value. Future, there's going to be more and more value added to all of our packs that we're having, which is, I think, pretty cool. That being said, do is our largest pack that we just launched, or we're currently in the waitlisting phase, or like in the pre-order phase, which is going to be launching shortly. It's going to be called ETHGlobal Plus, which is our like one-stop membership for pretty much everything ETHGlobal. You get access to every single Pragma conference, to all of the events. You get guest passes. You get to meet a lot of people. You get to all the co-working spaces that we're running, all the everything is in there. It's free snacks, drinks. Again, access to all of the events. It's going to be the same thing this year. It's going to be much more coming next year. No deadline. 10x on everything that pretty much I mentioned for the other packs too. You get all of the city packs for free, which is huge. And a bunch of stuff that's also shared. So you get like 50% of Privy, Sherlock audits, quick notes, bunch more stuff. Check it out, ethglobal.com/plus. It's pretty much like our premium membership that we're going to be launching very soon, including reimbursement. You don't have to pay for transactions. We waive the amount, stuff like free investment, lens, forecaster, and much more. So definitely check this one out. Cool. That would conclude it for this workshop. We still have some time. If there's a lot of questions, we can go a bit over, which is fine. So does anybody have any questions at this time? Either post it in chat or feel free to unmute yourself.
Hey, how's it going? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. How's it going?
Hey, how's it going? Good. I'm looking forward to the hackathon. I was just wondering if you could give me your best tips for connecting with people and trying to find a team in advance of the event.
Yeah. So in advance of the event, I would say just be active on Discord. So just gonna go over here. So we do have the find a team channel. Section of like what you're doing, like what you're to build. And people will approach it or just try to kind of like monitor this channel. We're also going to be running a like a team formation session, a virtual one on Monday next week. It's going to be posted on the schedule shortly. Still have to create the event, but yeah, this would also be a good spot to connect. Attending the Pragma event, which is going to be 2 days on Wednesday and Thursday next week. There's also a lot of during the event and after, like at the happy hour. So this is also a spot where like specifically notice it it's connecting there and then to actually hack at the event. So these would be my like 2 recommendations prior to
Great.
the
Thank you
event. And
so
then
much.
yeah, no worries. And then at the event, just talk to people, slap a sticker on, and yeah, you still have plenty of time, especially on the first day, since hacking doesn't start until like 9 p.m. So you have like half the day to still find people. So yeah.
Okay, that makes me feel better. Thanks.
Yeah, no worries. Is this going to be your first time? hacking with us?
Yeah, I volunteered at the ETHGlobal New York hackathon last year, two
Oh,
years ago. This will be my first
oh,
time as a hacker. And so, yeah, so we'll see. So I'm looking forward to it.
yeah, oh, it's gonna be fun. I mean, you've been to an event before, you know how those are running, but it's super fun on both sides. Like it's really fun as a hacker. It's also fun as an organizer. I can highly recommend both. So yeah, looking forward to meeting you
Awesome.
there.
Thanks. Looking forward to meeting you too, Pascal.
Yeah, nice. Cool. Any other questions? And you don't have to unmute yourself. Feel free to just post a message in the chat. That's also fine. And if you don't have any questions right now, but some questions are gonna come up in a couple of days, again, just you can reach me on Discord. I'm this guy over here with the, can really see here, but there with the big ears. Just reach out, send a public message. You can open up a support ticket or just send an email to hello@ethglobal.com, and I'm going to try to get back to you as quickly as possible. With that being said, I hope this workshop was, oh yeah, because it's going to be on our YouTube channel if you have just tuned in. So it's currently live streaming and afterwards it's going to be uploaded. So all of our workshops are going to be uploaded at youtube.com/ethglobal. Workshops we're going to have at the actual event. So that being said, hope this workshop was useful for some. I'm super excited for next week. I'm looking forward to meeting each and every single one of you. Any questions, just feel free to reach out and we're gonna have an San Francisco. So that being said, have a great morning, have a great afternoon, have a great night, and see you next week. Bye.